one game in his best of 7 series, and he's going for a Warlock deck as well. And this time, it's not a Demon Lock, it's not a Zoo, it's a good old hand lock with some new cards.
Savjz is, well, it gives him ability to use Soulfires if he can just card, but that's not what you're looking for immediately. Molten Giant does shape it up, though.
You can Soulfire face twice to play a Molten Giant earlier.
At the risk of discarding your own Molten Giant as well. Love it. It's a Strife Grow play.
Kind of. This lifetime was actually pretty good. Twilight Drake is pretty nice. You want to play Twilight Drake on turn 4. You might actually even play the egg.
Amaz also gets the Doom Guard, and he can squeeze it out pretty early, which is important. Savjz taps, and he gets a Mountain Giant. And again, this is a rare occurrence where the Zoo starts off really slow, and oftentimes, because Savjz had nothing to do but life tap, he's committed to this plan. And, you know, the Mountain Giant does come out, but with Direwolf Alpha and a lot of trades going down, you might not get an effective value out of it. You might just kill a couple of minions and trade Soulfire in.
Amaz's board is so big right now with all those cards, but on the other hand, with Direwolf out of the question, there's only 3 points of damage, and an 8/8 Giant is staring him. So the timing to get that Mountain Giant was so crucial. Savjz can also follow up with a 4/7 Drake. Will it be a 4/7? I just said 4/7, but I actually didn't count it. I feel like it's always
seems about right. Yeah, I think it is a 4/7 because you draw the 7th card. I feel kind of silly because I was saying that Mountain Giant often feels dead in this matchup, but it seems like it's at least be able to safely come out here, which is really crucial for Savjz. And you know, I feel like I completely just went backwards, but I stand by what I said. You know, Savjz was able to get this out. Zoo played really slowly. Lots of setup cards like Nerubian Egg, the Haunted Creeper post threats over time, and resilient against AoE. And now, as a result, Handlock's able to kind of take the initiative and put the burden on Amaz to be able to respond.
What do you even do being a Zoo in here? Because that Taunt Giver is coming, so do you try to clear? Oh my god, Iron Beak Owl.
Well, he has Iron Beak Owl and Elven Archer, so that's one way to deal with it really effectively.
On the other hand, you're not dealing that many points of damage, and if there is a board clear coming, if Savjz actually gets something like Hellfire, that would be huge.
Well, Amaz is valuing the Soulfire. He's tapping so that way he has a higher chance to save his Doomguard, so he maybe can play it next in the following turns. Instead of going for Harvest Golem and kind of cutting his losses and accepting Soulfire / Doomguard will be lost.
Are you going for face in here? I guess you do.
I think so.
9 points of damage.
He has double Molten Giant and Sun Fury Protector, and I think with this kind of combinations, and the fact that he's at low enough health to kind of drop it in the next few turns, Savjz is in a good position to just win this game. Amaz already used his silence. He doesn't run things like Black Knight. I think Savjz is heavily favored to win it from this point on.
Also, this Nerubian right now is exactly as we talked about. It's a 1/3 taunt, which is pretty annoying, and then after we kill it, it's a 4/4 that will help Savjz to push with damage. Being Amaz here, are you thinking about Leroy in the opponent's hand? Because this board is pretty strong. Even if you kill the Giant, and if you kill the 1/3, then there will be 6 points of damage. So possible Leroy plus Power Overwhelming and Soulfire is killing you.
Well, he might be able to get some even better juggle. He's been juggling straight to the minions. He needs a little bit more juice though, because he missed on the Mountain Giant. That would have allowed him to trade and push out this Nerubian Egg. Is he tempted to use something like Soulfire and gamble? I don't know. It's going to be really tough. Let's find out what happens, because he might try to use the Nerubian Egg as leverage to maybe juggle one more time. If not, he might Soulfire and opt for it first.
Going for Soulfire.
He goes for the Soulfire, and he doesn't discard a Doomguard, which is really critical. Doomguard might be the way to pressure, but we know Savjz has things like Molten Giants.
He gets the Leroy. It's, oh my god, how is 1 damage off lethal? Again. Is he? Yes, this is 16 points of damage. But there are the taunts, so it doesn't matter. What do you do being Savjz? Do you just tap and play those Molten Giants earlier? You would probably would like to play both Molten Giants and a taunt.
the consequence is about the same. He can't tap and play both Molten Giants unless he soul fires himself for a super creative play, and then goes for double Molten Giant taunt. I think that's a little too risky for me.
I think you have to play Molten Giant and taunt the 4/4 and the Molten. Kill the 2/2. Do you kill an egg? You probably don't. You just play the Molten Giant. You've seen your opponent struggle to kill the Mountain Giant, so now you play a Molten, you taunt it, and for the next turn he can always play the second Molten Giant and Sludge Belcher.
Yes.
And Soulfire after that to just clear something.
You don't Soulfire the Knife Juggler here?
Do you?
I think you have to Soulfire the Knife Juggler. It represents too much potential damage. We just witnessed what happens if you leave it up and you allow Zoo to tap.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Zoo has only 2 cards in hand, and I feel like it might be too risky.
Oh, well, Siphon Soul.
This is perfect for him. I feel like this was the best card to discard.
Yeah, I think I would have been okay with Leroy being discarded either. You don't necessarily need to rush your opponent down. You're playing a really defensive game. Either one of those, as long as you didn't lose maybe Molten Giant or Sludge Belcher.
Well, the thing is that if Molten Giant and a 2/3 survives, you just win next turn. So Leroy is pretty important here. And if your opponent clears, you can still play the Sludge Belcher and the Molten Giant. That's why I feel like Leroy was pretty important.
Amaz has also been valuing the Doom Guard so much that the Doom Guard might never be played this game. There's a very realistic possibility.
If Amaz attacks with the egg, that's it.
No, he's not. I don't think you can attack with the egg. You're just asking to get completely destroyed. He's thinking about whether or not to play the Flame Imp, and he's committed to it. That's 12, which, if there's anything that he picks up, Savjz picks up sorry, not Power of the Wind, the Faceless Manipulator, but that's not enough to be able to combo immediately. But guess what? You can put out another 8/8 taunt.
And then just follow it up with another 8/8 without taunt, but still pretty strong.
And I think Savjz has stabled enough. I was saying how Molten Giants, super key in this matchup. As long as you're out of the range where your opponent can just like double Soulfire you for the game. And Amaz is going to be playing Doomguard finally, but it has been very late.
There's like no way. A wall of 16 health in those taunts, and then 12 more on hero. This is potentially 28 points of health that you have to, 28 points of damage that you have to deal to win this game.
You have to kill one of these giants, and you have to kind of like wait and see, because if you sacrifice everything to kill this other giant, then you play straight into it, but you're kind of forced to do it anyways. There's no way for him to win this game. Amaz Zoo deck has fallen, and Savjz will take game number 2.
How overwhelming this last final touch. Which doesn't matter because Amaz was dead on board. 10 points of damage into 10 points of health.